James here with another video. I was just in Dubai. Thought I'd document a few things that I learned there, maybe some things that can really help you in your business, and also taking a look at the kind of international waters of business as such. So I was in Dubai approximately 3-4 weeks ago. Been there before for personal and slightly for work, but never really been to do a business only trip. So the landscape there was very interesting. The biggest thing that I would notice straight away is the infrastructure and everything there is absolutely insane. What they've been able to build in such a short period of time relative to every other civilized nation is crazy. So it's one of the things. They just work unbelievably hard. They go so hard with everything. Now, one of the biggest things that I would say Dubai is obviously well known for is the fact that they have zero taxes, they have an amazing economy, they have all these different things. So I mainly went over there to take a look at basically property, getting some connections in property. On top of that, actually making sure that I knew the landscape of Dubai for business. So I understood a little bit more about some of the corporate structures and other things like that. Now, I am potentially looking at moving to Dubai, uh, whether it be for tax reasons or whatever that may be, because unfortunately, Australia, you pay absolute exuberant tax amounts, which I'm sure everyone in Australia can agree. I know you can write it off with property and depreciation schedules on property and things like that. I do all of those, and you have smart business practice, but if you start to make a bit of money, it really, really gets you. And you can buy cars, you can buy houses, but then the year they still slap you with absolutely crazy taxes. On top of taxes, you have superannuation. You also have pay-as-you-go tax for employees. You also have GST. You have literally every single tax, and by the time you factor all of that in, you're paying circa 60% actual tax with GST, personal income tax, everything like that. So Dubai has a 5% VAT, which is GST equivalent. So they have a 5% VAT, and then they also have 9% company tax, and you have 0% employee tax, meaning personal income tax. So the 9% company tax, what it actually means that you can do is if you're the director, you can just draw a salary from the company, make $0 personal tax, and pay no profit, like pay no taxes on profits if you're good at planning where your revenue is going to be sitting. So let's say I was going to make a $10,000 salary. So my $10,000 salary could be drawn out as $800 a month or whatever that may be. So that salary, if I predict that the company is going to make $20,000 in profit, I would then draw out $10,000 or $15,000 as a salary for that year, so I can get all the money at 0% tax instead of 9%. But I'm also not that concerned about paying 9%, considering I've been paying 60% plus for my whole life and the whole time in business. So next is property. That's the financial landscape, significantly better in terms of financial landscape, in terms of taxes and things like that. But next is property. Property over there has been growing at 4 to 5 years of basically, I believe it's 14 to 16% per year for the last 4 to 5 years. Now that's just appreciation in property. So that's just appreciation. Now a lot of their market over there is developments. So you buy a lot more apartments versus houses. So you buy a lot more apartments. They start at around, in Australian dollars, they start at around $500,000-$600,000 for a an apartment there, whether it be a one bedroom, a little bit cheaper if you want a studio. So $500,000-$600,000, you go to two bedroom at $600,000-$700,000, and you can start buying villas and townhouses for even under $1 million, or approximately just over 2 million dirham. So 2 million dirham, or just under $1 million, is what you can get for like a villa townhouse. So it's pretty good in terms of competitive landscape, in terms of property pricing as well. The average property that I've purchased over the last couple of years ranges around the $800,000 mark in properties that I buy. I specialize in 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, approximately 4 to 800 square meter suburban single dwelling kind of houses. So that's what I personally have my bread and butter with. I've made previous videos before on how I consistently can make over $100,000 per year on each property that I buy based on how I set everything up. But I specialize in that. So moving to the apartment side of things and looking at the growth and everything like that was crazy, because even with the strategy that I've come up with, I can make more money in Dubai and have zero taxes in property, because there is a mathematical formula in rent. So if you have a $500,000 house, you should be receiving close to $500 per week in rent. Now, in Dubai, it's not 500, it's 0.135%. Now, 0.0135%, which is basically you will get paid approximately for a $500,000 property anywhere from six to 650 or more dollars in rent. Now, that's incredibly crazy when you think about it, because when you're looking at actual rentals and the amount you're paying for a mortgage and now the amount you're paying for rent in Australia now, it's basically non-existent. And the reason I actually considered moving to Dubai is because I've just been hit with a lot of land tax that I have recurring every single year, and it's tens of thousands of land tax. So I'm a little bit upset about that. So I've been looking at Dubai investments, but basically the rent is $600 to $650 for every $500,000 in property, or 0.0135%. So like that's crazy, because when you have a mortgage, and here in Australia the interest rates at 6.5%, what you basically have is like you're losing money every year. Your cash flow is negative every year at a 60, 70, not 60, at a 70 to 80% loan to value ratio. You're negatively geared, which is completely fine, but your cash flow is still impaired. Like you still want to be making money. Whereas if you go into Dubai, first of all, you can get loans in Dubai. You can get fully loans just like normal in Dubai. Less legislation, and not legislation, but less compliance in Australia versus Australia, meaning Australia has more compliance. And the only negative there is you can only borrow up to 60%. So 60% loan to value ratio instead of 80%. I know for first time home buyers you can get 90, 95, 97%. But this is specifically for these this is specifically for Dubai over there in like investment properties as well. So 80% in Australia, 60% in Dubai. And basically that's the landscape over there for property. So I went over, found a connection over there who I reached out to, and then looking at investing in properties over there. And basically looking at how we can get taxes down, and there will most likely be a Dubai office for BizLease open and BizLaunch open, and some of the other companies as well in Dubai within the next 6 to 12 months, just because of the reasons mentioned. And it's really tough looking. I never get into political or anything like that online. But it's tough to see in Australia versus Dubai. I know there's a lot of political things going on in the world right now, but just the tax side of it and how that affects the political market in Australia. Like all the taxes are just political plays from the current government, which is, I won't even say his name in case I get banned or whatever. But all of it is political plays for tax, whether that be the current removal of the instant asset write-off. As the recording of this video on the 22nd, on the 27th of the 3rd, 2025, I've just gotten word that they're removing the instant asset write-off as well. So now you have GST on cars, you have luxury car tax, you have no instant asset write-off, and you have all these other fees. On top of that, you've already paid 50% income tax. So by the time you get to the end, it's a 60, 70% tax on your money. So basically you're only working 4 months of the year. So you spend 12 months working and you get 4 months worth of that. It's absolutely crazy to me. So I'll do a further breakdown as well on how the Australian market is actually ruining businesses and how the profit and loss works out to absolutely destroy businesses. And I'll quickly explain it right now with my fingers so you can see. So if your profit is this, which is 30%, and your cost is 70%, a lot of costs in business are static costs. So then you only basically get 30%, or let's call it even 20%. You have your static costs up here. When you remove things like GST, you remove then things like pay-as-you-go tax, you remove all these taxes and all this other bullshit, what happens is your profit doesn't just like get up a little bit. It goes from 20%, and then this goes down by 20%, this goes up. So what's happened is your profit has gone from 20% to 40%, which means you're making twice the amount of money. So if your business is profiting, say, $1 million a year, let's say in EBIT, earnings before tax, interest and appreciation, if you are earning $1 million a year, you're now earning $2 million a year. You're doubling. Your monthly income just went from 83,000 to 166,000 in one day. And that just doesn't allow little changes to be made. Now you can literally not just double the size of the team, but you can do so many crazy things and double the scalability that you're currently working towards, provide more value to clients, more value to customers. Imagine if your business was making double the amount of money and you could reinvest into the business to make clients have a better customer experience instead of worrying about paying GST, taxes and all this bullshit and then barely having enough money at the end of the week. Like, it's absolutely crazy. So that's the biggest reason for Dubai. That was kind of the documentation for it. Emirates flight over, amazing. Walked on the plane. It was just an overall good experience going there. Went up to the Burj Khalifa, all the way around the Palms. Wasn't able to do too much. Couldn't even go gym, unfortunately. But went gym like once or twice. I think it was I think it was actually just once. And yeah, it was just an overall good experience. If anyone is planning to go there for a business reason, or even look into the things surrounding Dubai. But it's the future, it's the city of the future. And there's two main things there. It's like the property market, the investing market, how to actually grow your money. And a last final thing is you can invest over there as an Australian citizen and get $0 in tax, like pay zero in tax over there. So you can invest over there and put your money over there and get no capital gains and get no basically tax on your income that's coming in. So you can do all of that, which is crazy. So yeah, that's what Dubai is like, the utopia of everywhere, tax reasons and investment reasons, which hopefully this helps people who potentially are going to be watching this video. So if you like the video, comment if you'd ever go to Dubai, or if there's other videos that you want me to post. Subscribe if you are new and you want to see more content around financial services, lead generation, sales, marketing. This was more of a documentation, but all the videos are based around business, sales and marketing, and for financial services specifically. How to grow, how to do lead generation, how to generate more leads for your business, how to make your business ultimately more valuable in the eyes of an investor as well. So my name is James Lewis. I own Whiteboard Investments and a bunch of other companies, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll speak with you guys soon.